All right, we are set to go. So there he is. There's the long, tall drink of water out of Princeton, Kentucky. Again, 9th place yesterday. He wants a lot more. It's an empty front row in the center with Gerloff. So here we go as Gagne gets a good start. He's going to try and pull right up on the back of Jake Lewis. He'll lead him, Lewis will, into turn number 1.
Well, another player, too, is DeSalvo. We missed him in yesterday's race, and now he's off in the 3rd spot. So the lead Triumph guy in the field. Now Bobby Fong took that 3rd spot yesterday. DeSalvo runs in 3rd now.
If DeSalvo can keep that machine underneath of him today, he could very well be a factor. He is really good here at Barber, and the Triumph is really good here at Barber as well. As Gagne slips sliding away under braking, and he'll slip off the groove just a little bit, and 2 guys will get underneath of him. He's going to go to 4th real quick.
That's 2 Triumphs. That's DeSalvo and Fong, and now he's going to fight back on the inside. And Essex right there, too, with a great start for the 69 again.
The start is under review. We'll have word on that shortly. There's the 69 of Eslick. As Scott Russell told you, he's up in here in the thick of things. He's got a good view of things right now as it's on in GoPro Daytona SportBike. Very highly competitive class. We've got more experienced riders in this class. Riding highly modified 600s promises to be a good one.
And our race winner number 00, Dane Westby's off in the 6th spot, so he's right there in contention. Can he fight his way to the front?
As early as it is here, Scott, this could be anybody's race right now that's up in the top 6, 7, or 8 spots, no doubt, right?
We saw how quickly things changed yesterday, and this class is so competitive, Barry, that and they run so closely, like you said yesterday when Garrett ran into the back of Jake Lewis. So as close as these guys are running, it's tough out there.
Right now it is a 5, 6, 7 rider freight train up front. They're nose to tail trying to slug it out. Gagne recovered nicely from a little bit of an over-braking situation. He is in the 2 spot. I think we should go down trackside to Danielle real quick. Danielle?
Right out the gate, Barry, I wanted to catch up with Gary Dean, the crew chief for the number 85, Jake Lewis. This is a very important race for him. His biggest competition is out of the race. That's Garrett Gerloff. This could be that opportunity he's been looking for to get his first win.
Yeah, he's really looking forward to this. He wanted his win yesterday, but we had some bad luck, and hopefully today he can pull it off, and we can all celebrate tonight.
That's a timely report right there, but he has more competition on the racetrack to worry about. Gagne is giving him fits up there at the head of the class, Scott Russell.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of changes in this. Westby's made his way around Eslick, too, so he's on the march, and now the 32 leading the way as they go through that fast chicane down the back straightaway. Jake's going to want to make it right now, leading the points this year. He's want to finish this race right now up strong.
We've got a pair of Jakes up front, both very talented young riders. Jake Gagne leads Jake Lewis. Gagne's been on a tear of late. He's recorded some victories. He's looking for more, but these Triumph guys, they haven't had enough yet. They want to come to the head of this class, and they're working to get it done.
Oh, the Wolverine slicing and dicing back there. Looks like Westby jumps up into the 4th spot as they come across. Now that's Bobby Fong going back and forth with Westby. So few Triumphs right there in that lead group, giving them all they can handle.
All right, we've got a couple of laps down, 17 remaining. Real quick look at the top 10. It's Gagne leading Lewis, Jason DeSalvo, Bobby Fong, Dane Westby, Danny Eslick, J.D. Beach, Blake Young, Tomas Puerta, and Jake Zimke. And the start was clean. According to timing and scoring, it's a good start.
But you can see the guy that finished 2nd yesterday, J.D. Beach, who felt like, man, he left it out there. He felt like he could have won this thing. He was not happy with his performance yesterday or the way it finished. It runs on the tail end of this lead group right now, and we'll see if he can get up in there and maybe win this thing. It's going to be tough to get through this pack of riders that are in front of him right now.
While you were talking, Jason DeSalvo did put a move on the 85 of Jake Lewis, so Jake's got to put his head down, and Bobby Fong's knocking on his door as well. That's Fong back there behind the 85 in the 4th spot. So this is anybody's race here at this point. No question about it. It's on. The battle for second's a good one.
Well, Jason DeSalvo's got a lot of laps around this racetrack. They're kind of based over in this area and definitely taking full advantage of the track knowledge that he has. And this is definitely one of the better tracks, I would think, for the Triumph.
And he's got a lot of confidence coming into this round. He said, my Triumph works well here. I like the way it rides. It is known to turn in well, good quick handling motorcycle, and the power is good for these tight corners. He can get a good drive out of the corners.
Boy, it's getting tight for that 4th spot. Westby came into the back of Bobby Fong going through that last section of corners, and they ran into the back of him and luckily stayed on the bike. You saw Bobby look over his shoulder on the front straight and say, who's knocking on the door back there?
And Westby knows he's got a good horse and he knows how to ride it here at Barber. Up front, it's the 32 of Jake Gagne, and Gagne has proven a couple of times this season that he could beat the best of the best. He has become one of the elite riders in the GoPro Daytona SportBike Series, and dude, does he ever have his hands full right now.
He put on a clinic at Road America, rode the best I've ever seen him ride, and now he's going to carry some of that momentum after a rough day at the office yesterday. Now he's back up there where he feels like he belongs. That team, Danny Walker and those guys have done such a great job on that team and giving him a bike and working with the Penske shot guys, and that's really where they feel like they've made some real headway with the handling of this motorcycle, and it's really paying off.
We talk about the differences in sizes of these riders. I'd like to point out Jason DeSalvo is one of the smallest riders in the field, and the guy behind him, number 85, is one of the tallest riders in the field. You can really see that because DeSalvo becomes one with that 675 Daytona.
Yeah, and a lot of people might think that being tall is a disadvantage. I think it's almost an advantage in some cases, and Jake Lewis is surely making it work on that Mean Motorsports Yamaha. He's done a great job at the faster racetracks as well, so not just these short tracks can he go quick. He's quick everywhere.
He has to struggle a little bit to get down below the bubble, but he's figured out how to do it. Now he's under attack from the 4th place rider, Bobby Fong, as it's on here at Barber for sure in Sport Bike.
I'll tell you what, Fong's a danger man after the ride he put in yesterday after hitting the deck really hard. And then on the restart coming from the back of the pack all the way up to 3rd spot, out of nowhere, man, he come through him fast. But today, everybody's kind of up their game, and they've had time to go back overnight and tweak their bikes a little bit. So now you got 5 or 6, 7 guys that are really running strong today.
I like Jason DeSalvo's approach to this race right now, Scott. He is right there within striking distance, but he's really not making a lot of attempts to do anything with Gagne. I think he's just biding his time a little bit, and then right behind him is Jake Lewis. He knows if he gets a little bit out of line, Lewis is going to do something and try to make a move himself.
Yeah, it's a difficult call, really. I mean, I'm sure he's riding as hard as he can right now because Jake's not leaving anything on the table. I guarantee you Jake is not pacing. He's not saving tires. He's riding hard right now, and all of these guys are. So you just gotta hit your marks and be good every lap, really, in this class.
Well, the best lap of the race belongs to Dane Westby, and he just did it. 1:28.198, fastest lap of the race. So you called it early, and Westby's on the throttle hard here at Barber.
Just kind of letting everything sort itself out right now. Don't get too excited in the early. He did run in the back of Fong already, so he's already had that heart rate spike already. So now he's calmed down, regroup, and now he's on the tail end of these guys, looking to make some more moves.
And indicative of the level of competition, Jake Lewis, Bobby Fong, and Dane Westby turned in their personal best laps, lap before last. So they are all on the throttle hard here, trying to figure it all out.
Sweeping through turn 2, down into this little valley right here. This track is so challenging for the riders as they top off the turn 4 right there at the apex. The front end of the motorcycle gets really light, and you're trying to hold it wide open. There's a move. Jake Lewis is trying to move DeSalvo out of the way. DeSalvo, there's a lot of racetrack barriers. They exit Charlotte's Web. Plenty of room for all these guys.
It's a drag race. They both got a good drive out of the corner, and it looks like to me right now it's going to be Jason DeSalvo who's going to win that battle, but Jake Lewis is showing that he is not afraid to get up in there and mix it up with DeSalvo one bit.
That Triumph's got some legs. They had a little drag race going there, and he won that one.
That's a fact. It was a head-to-head drag race that got off to a nice even start. And it was DeSalvo at the end of the straightaway who controls it. The man's controlling the pace of the race, though, is up front. My partner says he's not leaving anything on the table right now, and that's number 32, Jake Gagne, who we don't know how far his career is going to go, but we know one thing, he's performing at top level right this moment.
Well, he's definitely one of the best young riders in America that we have, and I think there's plans to get him out of here soon, possibly. We'll have to monitor that, but number 6 might be a guy to keep your eye on, J.D. Beach. He's worked his way up onto the tail end of this group, kind of was off the back, and Essex has fallen off the back, not been able to pace with the leaders this weekend.
A good eye out of Scott Russell because, as you said, that J.D. Beach shows he's got the fast lap of the race now, 1:27.842. So J.D.'s on the throttle here, riding extremely well.
That was cool. Gagne wheeling at the apex of turn 4 as they come out of that valley. This is fun stuff.
Leading them into Charlotte's Web here. We've got some of the best riders in America right now going at it at the head of the field, a GoPro Daytona SportBike, and there they are. There are 6 of them right now going at it. It's Gagne, DeSalvo, Lewis, Fong, Westby, and Beach, and any one of these riders could find the top of the Castrol Winner's Circle here today at Barber. That's why they play the games. 13 remaining.
Well, I tell you, they got that bike working really good. That Red Bull Rookies Cup bike is just handling things. As he goes over the curb down there in the museum corner, it doesn't even look like the bike feels it. I mean, he's so smooth. Don't forget, Gagne's a super bad motocrosser, too.
Yeah, that doesn't bother him one little bit, I don't think. And the suspension appears to be working excellent on that motorcycle, no doubt about it.
And that's where they've been working on, you know, and it's the little things in the sport that really matter. And when you got guys out here in a class like this that are so closely matched, anytime you can get a little bit of advantage, suspension's huge in this sport, and they've really worked hard on it, and it's paid off.
And Danny Walker's been walking around kind of this morning with kind of a sly smile on his face. That's not a good sign usually for somebody, because it means he thinks he's good. Gagne, DeSalvo, and Lewis just turned in their personal best laps of the race. So I tell you what, it's the pace is quickening here, and GoPro Daytona SportBike, 12 to go, and they continue to pick it up.
You can see Jake using all of the racetrack as he runs over the inside curve in turn 4 right there. I mean, yeah, these guys are really riding well. He's a little bit wide right there, but I think he's just squaring it up to get that good drive down that straight. You can see he got DeSalvo a couple of bike lengths as he poured on the power of that Yamaha.
We'll watch the Triumph of Jason DeSalvo. He's making good power. We've seen it illustrated right there at that part of the racetrack a couple of times, as he will close up on the back of Gagne over in museum and put his head down. Does DeSalvo. He's right there. He's well within striking distance on Gagne. He's not in a position to make a move, but he's just a couple of bike lengths behind our race leader. And Jake Lewis just keeps putting the wheel out there, taking a look, just trying to find a way around that Triumph in front of him.
Pretty calm race, really, to be honest with you. I mean, all these guys are keeping it real clean and just kind of staying in line. They're all having a nice rhythm going right now. Nobody's getting too excited yet, but it's coming.
It is coming. You can kind of feel it. These guys are all going to get together here to try to work it out at the end. It's likely to be highly, highly competitive. It is right now. As a matter of fact, it seems like everyone's a little bit content just to ride right where they're riding right now. They know they've broken away big time from the rest of the field. It's up to these 6 right now to work it all out.
It looks like DeSalvo, when I watch him, it looks like he's really good on corner entry and rolling right into the middle of the corner. And then the Yamaha is good right off the corner. So each rider's got their own little spot on this track that they probably feel good at, and right now it's the guy who's going to feel good all the way around the racetrack that's going to come out on top today.
And I'm pointing out again, not to sound like a broken record, but the Cortec Live timing is showing me that the top 5 riders, yet again, when they crossed the stripe that time, recorded yet another personal best lap. So Gagne, DeSalvo, Lewis, Fong, and Westby continue to get faster and faster as the race wears on.
Speaking of Westby, it looks like he's losing a little bit of ground out of Charlotte's Web as they go down that infield straightaway every lap. You can see that gap right now. There's 5-6 bike lengths between him and the rider in front of him, and that seems to be a weak point for Westby, so he's going to have to try to work around that, or JD Beach is going to get all over him in a minute.
Jake Lewis is under a good bit of pressure at the moment, it appears to me, by Bobby Fong. Fong wants it. He wants to take that spot away and see if he can get up in there and do anything with DeSalvo and Gagne, as the 32 of Gagne continues to just slip away quietly out to about 5 or 6 bike lengths right now.
Well, you might see something happen out here now that Lewis has gotten up into that second spot. The gap between the first and second guy has grown a little bit, so is he not being able to pace with Gagne? Does DeSalvo seeing that right now? Fong seeing that? They're going to want to make a move back on him real quick. They don't want to lose any ground to the 32.
When they get back to the stripe, it'll again be the furled white and furled green crossed at the line, indicating to our riders we're halfway. Plenty of time left to accomplish your goals here, but you got to do something with this Red Bull Road Race Factory star, number 32, Gagne up front. Hadn't put a wheel wrong yet. All race long, he's hit all of his marks. He's riding brilliantly. The man from Princeton, Kentucky on the Mean Motorsports Yamaha wants a piece of it, though. Number 85, Jake Lewis, looks really aggressive to me right now, Scott.
Yeah, he's really riding well this year. And a little bobble yesterday cost him, and didn't finish up where he wanted to, obviously, but today is a different day, and that's the beauty of this 2-race format. So anybody who didn't have a good day yesterday always can make it right on Sunday.
Doubleheaders are like that. You get a chance to correct some things or mentally correct some things, whichever it may be. You get another day to try to pull it off. But right now, Gagne has slipped back a little bit into the clutches of number 85, Jake Lewis. DeSalvo's right there, too. Top three have broken away just a little bit from fourth, fifth, and sixth. As they screen by us here one more time, that'll leave 9 to go. And again, Gagne and Lewis and Westby turn in their personal best lap times.
Okay, I think Westby's trying to start to make a move a little bit. He's definitely he's up in the 4th spot now, and he's cleaned up that little part of the racetrack. I thought he was struggling in last lap. Did a great job of getting through there. And now let's see if he can really start to work on these top 3 guys in front of him. As he dives down into Charlotte's Web, everybody keeps it clean. Everybody's in line right now, getting this thing turned, getting it pointed, getting on the gas as quick as they can. I think it's one of those races where you just kind of want to settle in. You know, there's not a lot of dicing going on. You got 6 guys that are running basically the same pace, so it's going to be the smart guy at the end of this one that's going to come out on top, and who's able to pick that guy off, or can Gagne continue to hold these guys off all day long?
Well, of the top 4, Gagne had the slowest lap time that time, and you can see the result of that is Jake Lewis is drawn up on the back tire of the Road Race Factory Yamaha. So what's Jake Lewis going to do here? We'll find out in a moment. Action going on now. It's beginning to pick up a little bit. You can feel the intensity up there in that top 4. They're beginning to pull away just a little bit from Bobby Fong and Beach.
Yeah, it looks like Westby made the move when he really needed to get around Fong, because Fong definitely seems to struggle. Obviously, maybe he made a little mistake, and we'll see if he can pull back up on the rear end of this and get that freight train tied back together.
The distinctive paint package, the Yamalube Racing colors on the 00 back there in the 4th spot. As he takes a look on the inside of DeSalvo here into Charlotte's Web, unable to do it, but he was sure taking a look, trying to shake DeSalvo just a little bit perhaps.
Well, he's looked real racy now. I think Westby was just kind of sleeping in a little bit on that early part of the race, or just sitting in there. Just sitting in the pocket, not really wanting to make too many moves, and now some of that fuel burning off. Everybody's kind of getting it on right now. Now he's ready to make some moves.
I got to go with you on that. Here we go with 8 to go. It's Gagne, Lewis, DeSalvo, and Westby, and Bobby Fong. That's your top 5. It's Beach, Danny Eslick, Blake Young, Benito Solis, and Jake Zimke, 6 through 10. 11 through 15 is Puerta, Bryce Prince, Stefano Mesa, Kyle Wyman, and Tucker Lancaster, with Joe Roberts just outside of the top 15 in the 16th spot, trying to get up into that top 15. The battle for third looked really good there for a moment. Westby took a look to the inside of DeSalvo. DeSalvo answered the call and held on to the spot. But I agree with you, Scott Russell. Westby's got maybe a little bit more, and he's going to show us that, I think, pretty soon.
Well, confidence is a lot in the sport, and after yesterday's performance, he's riding high on that right now. Keep your eye on the 6, J.D. Beach. Finally made that move on Bobby Fong. He could see that those guys were getting away, so he made the move on the number 50, and now he's got some little bit of work to do to catch back up to DeSalvo, and looks like he's doing it right now on the brakes.
He sure is. He's being real smooth under braking, and he's closed right in on him. Whoa, he's right.
That's hairball when you go over the top of that thing. I'm telling you, these guys are braking so hard in there. It's amazing how these Dunlops stick with that kind of pressure on them. I mean, it's intense riding this racetrack. And as they head down into the museum, that's like threading the needle right there, jumping the curb. And this turn coming up right here, this is the one you want to get right. Super fast entrance to it, getting the bike to the left, getting it right, and not missing this curve and be able to pick up the throttle without making a mistake. Can really pay off come to the end of the race.
Things are getting a little bit racier now amongst our top 4. The pressure is beginning to build. Gagne's your leader, Lewis in the 2 spot. The 00 of Dane Westby running 3rd. Westby has the fastest lap of the race, 1:27.599. Jason DeSalvo, your 4th place rider at the moment. The top 3 now broken away just a bike length or 2. Could it be DeSalvo maybe made a little error, because he's right back in it now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just takes one little slip up when these guys are that close in time, and you see a half a second appears instantly. But JD's done a great job now. He's getting closer and closer. Just hopefully he can get up in there and start battling with these guys. But really, there's no battling going on right now. It's just riding it out.
Okay, let's throw it down trackside and check in quickly now with Danielle. All right, so we are watching the action here as they're working it, and we've got Danielle down trackside. Mike's open. Let's check in real quick with her. Danielle?
Thanks, Barry. I'm down here in the Mean Motorsports pit. A lot of excitement going on. Just a little bit of information. I was updated by Dunlop that Jake Lewis is the only guy in that front pack on a soft rear tire. Could be interesting later on in the race.
Oh, that's very good information and a timely report. Thank you, Danielle. That's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that, won't we, huh, Scott?
Yes, we will, and that's great info, like you said. And now Lewis is really putting the heat on Gagne that last lap, really looking to make a move on him. Maybe that thing's paying off right now.
We're getting down to it here at Barber. There's 5 remaining in this one. Number 32, Jake Gagne's got it going on. He's led almost the whole thing. A little bit of a wiggle there, spinning the rear tire, Scott, just a little bit. Is that just a little bit greasy? I don't know, but Jake Lewis saw it. He thought he'd take advantage of the move as well.
I think it could be. I mean, it's super hot out there. These Dunlops are great tires, but I mean, hey, they can only handle so much, and the way these guys are riding them on the edge like that, Gagne just piled on the power down through the valley of turn 3, and the thing got a little sideways, and Lewis definitely saw that, and he's going to note that down. He's going to say, maybe I got something for him, but look at the 00. He means business today.
If you're a NASCAR fan and you're joining us here on fanschoice.tv, perhaps watching motorcycle road racing for the first time, the teams do not have any type of communication audio with the riders. Only an old-fashioned pit board is what we do in road racing, and these guys have all seen that pit board. They know that they are 5 to go. Soon it'll be 4. If you're going to go, now's the time. And I got a feeling Jake Lewis is beginning to feel it. Westby's beginning to feel it. They're both picking up the intensity in a big way here right now as Westby takes a look on the inside of Lewis and might have it done, Scott.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lewis was really ready for that right now, but Westby sees something. Maybe he's smelling blood in the water, obviously. Maybe he feels like this is his time to strike, and he's really doing a great job. And now Gagne is the next man on his list.
We'll see how it shakes out. Nobody's had anything for Gagne all race long. He's been up front having it his way. Riding very smooth and very quick has been the road race factory rider, number 32, Jake Gagne. But right now he's probably under more pressure than he's been under all race long. Dane Westby's there. He wants to sweep this weekend, and Westby heading into Charlotte's Web. He'll go to the bottom. Can he make it stick? He's there. They're side by side, almost touching on the exit of the corner. And Gagne has to give him a little bit of room. And now it's a 3-rider battle as Lewis says, I want a piece of it.
It's a serious drag race down in the museum. Oh, and look at Gagne backing it in right in front of Westby. You know, think about Westby. He's the only rider in this pack that's had to come through from the back of this pack. Nobody else has been able to really had to do that, but he's been able to do it and going for the lead right now, going for win number 2 this weekend.
Well, that's the motivation, right? I mean, you talked about the confidence, and you want to be able to say, I sweat Barber. It's on his mind right now. You got to know it. And Gagne is under intense pressure. He now knows that he's got company up front. A new man has arrived in the 2 spot, and he wants to be the guy atop of the Kestrel victory lane. Here in a moment, battle for the race lead. Is it going to be Westby?
That's his corner right there. He made it happen again on Gagne. Same move he put on Lewis. Now, does the 00 have the legs? Can he pull away from this pack? You know, after having such a great run all year but never finishing the deal, he feels like he can win these races, and now he's proving it out front.
Yamalube colors out front right now. The 00 of Westby with Gagne now in the 2 spot for the first time all race long. He is the bridesmaid at the moment. He doesn't like it one bit. Jake Lewis, number 85. He's been trying to stick the nose of that machine up, heading into Charlotte's Web. And Gagne said, if you'll move over a moment, I'll take that spot back, thank you. And in the process, Westby may lose. Oh, that's Gagne losing a spot.
Yeah, he's, you know, getting really excited now. This race is going to fire up now because getting down to the end of it with just 2.5 laps to go at this point. That was a little bit of a big mistake by Gagne. He did salvage and was able to stay in 3rd spot. Good job to stay on the track.
And that moves Jake Lewis, number 85, up into the 2 spot. So now he's going to take a shot at Westby. Lewis has been consistently strong. Regardless of who was in front or behind him all race long, he's been there. He tries to take a look and poke the nose up under the Yamalube machine, but was unable to get it done. But I think he's got a bike capable of winning the race.
And JD Beach has quietly worked his way up into 4th spot, Barry, so he's not done yet either. We haven't talked much about him, but he feels like he could have won that race yesterday, so we're going to see if he can make it right today.
Well, he's awake now, and back there in that 5th spot is Bobby Fong still. He's rejoined the field as well, so it's a race, and there are 5 riders right now in it. The 6th place rider, Jason DeSalvo, we haven't talked about him in a bit. He's been shuffled out of that top 5. He's a little bit of a gap back to DeSalvo now. It's 2 to go right now. It should be white flag when they get back to the stripe. Can Westby hold on? Can he do the double? He's looking very strong here late in the going.
Now, this is going to, when the time pays off, to who's got the best bike set up right now, and really whose bike's taking care of the tire better than the other one right now. With a lot of long duration corners on this racetrack, really taxes the tires right now. So setup for these guys is really paying off on the 00. It looks like they hit it on the head.
So Gagne's fought back up into the 2 spot. I think he's got designs on winning this thing, but he's also got to be a little bit defensive because Jake Lewis is right there knocking on the door. So he can't exactly focus totally on going forward, but he sure is taking a look right now. It's on American road racing at its finest right here in GoPro Daytona SportBike, coming to the white flag, and somebody's off a little bit here in its beach.
Man,
saved it.
That was a terrible thing to happen right there on that fast chicane. He just didn't exactly see what happened. He ran out of racetrack and ended up out in the gravel. He's still on it.
He's an expert in Grand National Flat Track racing on the Twins, and he just used a boatload of Grand National Flat Track skill sets right there to save that Yamaha from destruction. They're back to the front stretch. The white flag awaits, and there it is. So Dane Westby leads them into 1 for the final time here in the Triumph SuperBike Classic. 1 lap remains to sort it all out here at Barber.
I can pretty much guarantee you there's going to be some action when they get to Charlotte Webb right here. If Gagne can get through here, can he make a shot at Westby? But watch Fong, he's been sitting. Now he's in the 3rd spot.
There are 3 riders now going for 1 spot here in Charlotte's Web with Jake Lewis back there trying to find a way through. Lewis on the bottom of the racetrack. It is the Yamalube colors still out front. The battle for 2nd rages on up the hill. Now they get it kind of sorted out just a little bit.
Fong put the slide job on Gagne down on the inside, gave him a little bit of his taste of his own medicine. Oh, and he's down. Fong big off in the museum turn.
On the final lap, that's when you don't want to crash, and Bobby Fong says, oh my gosh, I'm out of it here at Barber.
That just shows you how hard these guys are. They're leaving nothing on the table right now, and that gives Westby a little bit of a break. Another bit of a mistake, and now Lewis capitalizes on that, and he moves into 2nd.
Again, he's been consistent, has Lewis all race long. He hasn't been bothered by anybody. Nobody has shaken number 85, Jake Lewis, not in this race. He may not have the bike to win. We'll find out soon, but he's certainly going to be defending 2nd if he doesn't have a shot at a race win. They're going to be greeted by the checkered flag. That's what's in the air here as they work their way out of the final corner for the final time. And it is a drag race, but it's Westby who makes 1 move and breaks the draft, and he'll be the first to cross the finish line. Dane Westby has brought the Yamalube colors to Castrol Victory Lane atop the box twice this weekend. He has swept the Triumph SuperBike Classic here in GoPro Daytona SportBike. Man, you know those guys, Scott. That feels good right there.
I mean, for those guys to put their own team together with Chuck and Jerry and Trigg down there, man, they've done a great job, and congratulations to those guys getting from what they had last year to what they're doing now. Now it's starting to pay off.
The Wolverine has done it. Your top 3 officially is the 00 of Dane Westby with the fastest lap of the race. What more can you do? 127.599, and Westby will fly the Yamalube colors high again today in Castrol Winter Circle. 2nd to number 85, Jake Lewis. 3rd to number 32, Jake Gagne. Your 4th place finisher, Jason DeSalvo, number 40. That Triumph rode well today for him. Just came up a little short of the podium. JD Beach, oh my word, what a save that we saw JD, and according to timing and scoring, he still managed to be 5th, so he not only saved it, but recovered nicely as we see him now celebrating here. He's celebrating that he's not down. Number 69, Danny Eslick will finish in the 6th spot. Blake Young, 7th. Jake Gagne, 8th. Benito Solis in the 9th spot, and Tomas Puerta will round out your top 10. Great ride for Tomas as well. Let's look a little deeper while we've got time. Kyle Wyman will finish in the 11th spot. Stefano Mesa, 12th. Bryce Prince in the 13th spot. Tucker Lancaster 14th. Two-time National Road Race winner and AMA Pro, Elena Myers, number 21, will have a respectable 15th place finish here, and that is your top 15 as Westby celebrates with a major burnout. He's following the protocol. He's off the racing groove to do his burnout. The only way it can be done. Excited Wolverine right there. This is going to be a very fun Castrol Winner's Circle interview coming up in a moment, and Christy Lee will be there to capture it all.
What a great guy, Westby, and I'm so happy for him. I mean, finally getting some success going, and he really deserves it, and hats off to that whole team down there for prepping that bike like they did and letting him do what he does best.
You think Yamalube is pleased with their decision to come on board with Team Westby? I got to believe it as he makes that turn down into the hot pit. He's going to be a very excited young man, and when that helmet comes off, the very first person or second that he's going to encounter will be Christy Lee. As you can see, look, up and down the pit lane, a lot of the different teams giving him a hand, a hand job, a handshake, clapping at Dane Westby, saying, dude, you've done it. You've done the sweep here at Barber, and the support of the paddock means a lot. There's the 85 of Jake Lewis. Number 32, Jake Gagne.
You can see Trig Westby right there. He's as happy as Dane is, I guarantee you right now. Those guys are going to be partying tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are. There he is right there. We're getting a big hug from his dad. Broaster chicken colors flying high. Westby's going to be a fun interview for Christy. He'd love it on his motorcycle here in Victory Lane. Castrol Victory Lane will be following. We're going to get top 3 interviews real quick before we officially go to our celebration. But we will definitely have thoughts from our top 3. Patricia Fernandez right there to say hello. Hand him a damp towel and say, here, dude, you've earned this. Big bottle of water for Westby. He's been carrying that Broaster chicken around for the last couple of rounds, talking it up to everybody that he can meet. And so now let's go down trackside. Christy Lee is with the 00s of Dane Westby.
Dane, outstanding race today. This is what you were looking for this weekend, sweeping both races here at Barber Motorsports Park. You and your team have got to feel great about this win. Congrats.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like maybe I didn't have much for him, but I just, I was telling myself I'm as fast as anybody out there. So, I proved it from yesterday, and here we are today. Man, just an amazing feeling. It's my first double. So here we are. Like I said yesterday, everybody watching out there, you can do it too. I came from clubs, and here I am. So thanks, to Yamalube and all my sponsors and everybody out there that's been following me and supporting me. Thanks.
There you have it, first double win for the 00 of Dane Westby and the Yamaha Westby Racing Team, Yamaha Lube Westby Racing Team.
For the second day in a row, he said that. You got to hand it to him. He said, I came from clubs, and here I am at the pro level doing the double at Barber. That's a big deal, no question about it. Christy's working hard for us. She is caught up with the man who finished a great race today, number 85, Jake Lewis. Here's Christy.
Jake, outstanding race this afternoon, back and forth for several laps with the top 5 positions. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that was really fun. Well, we were battling the whole 19 laps. I got off to a good start and got in the lead, and then I settled in the second behind Jake. I was on the soft tires, so we were pushing pretty hard. And, I saw Dane and Bobby were both there, and I was just trying to play my strategy for the end of the race. But Bobby passed me with a little under 1 lap to go, and then he ended up crashing. So, and then Jake made a pretty big mistake in the last chicane, and I just went underneath of him and then had a little bit of a gap, so I couldn't catch him. But, I'm really happy to be back up on the podium. Yesterday I made a huge mistake, so today was good. We'll put on a good show for all the fans back in Princeton, Kentucky, and all the fans I have watching here. So thank you for the support and sticking behind me.
Congrats to the second place finisher, number 85, Jake Lewis on the motorsport.com Mean Motorsports Yamaha machine.
Jake rode a great race. He was consistently strong all race long. Nothing seemed to shake the young man, regardless of who he was racing with. He was not intimidated one bit. Jake Gagne, he led a big part of this one. He was up front for the majority of the race. Came up a little short today, but still a very respectable third. Here's Christy with more on the 32.
Jake, definitely a difficult day for you yesterday, obviously injured and down, and your team was able to get your bike back up and running for today's race. You found what you were looking for out there. Tough race, but you put up a great fight. Congrats on third.
Yeah, props to the whole Road Race Factory Rebel crew. All the guys worked so hard last night to put this bike back together. And yeah, after a day like yesterday, we're up on the podium, so I'm happy and got some points. And but yeah, Dane and Jake, all those guys put up a heck of a fight, and it was fun racing with those guys. Just made a few little mistakes that cost me those last few laps, but we're all good and we're ready to go into the next one.
Congrats to the third place finisher on the Road Race Factory Red Bull machine, number 32, Jake Gagne. Barry will head to podium.
All right, Christy, thank you very much. We will have Castro a Victory Lane Winner's Circle celebration coming up in its entirety. In a moment, we'll cover it all right here at Barber on fanschoice.tv.